The forest awakened long before the sun. Not with noise, not with rushing wind, but with whispers. Every ancient pine tree stretched toward the pale morning sky, their emerald needles gently shimmering beneath tiny drops of silver dew. Soft mist drifted through the branches like slow-moving clouds, wrapping every stone, flower, and moss-covered log in a comforting blanket. The forest had been standing here for centuries. It had watched seasons come and go, watched countless stars cross the heavens, watched generations of woodland creatures build quiet little homes beneath its towering trees. Yet every morning, it awoke as though the world had just begun. Tiny birds greeted the dawn with gentle songs. Golden rabbits hopped through the soft grass. Squirrels carried acorns without hurry. Nothing in the whispering forest ever rushed. Even time itself seemed to move more slowly here. Near the heart of the forest stood an enormous oak tree unlike any other. Its trunk was wider than a small cottage. Its roots curled through the earth like gentle rivers. Thousands of glowing leaves shimmered softly, although there was no breeze. The forest called this ancient guardian the listening tree. Every dream that drifted across the night sky eventually reached its branches. Happy dreams, forgotten dreams, dreams that children no longer remembered, dreams that grown-ups had quietly left behind. The listening tree welcomed them all. This morning, something was different. A tiny silver light floated between the branches. It was smaller than a firefly, gentler than moonlight. The glowing little spirit slowly circled the tree, as though searching for something it could not remember. The old oak recognized the visitor immediately. A new dream spirit has arrived. The spirit opened bright, curious eyes. It had never seen such a beautiful forest. Soft, glowing mushrooms lit the winding paths. Wildflowers gently opened toward the morning sun. Crystal streams reflected tiny dancing lights beneath the leaves. Everything felt peaceful, safe, home. The little spirit floated closer to the listening tree. The old branches bent gently, as though smiling. Welcome, little one. I have been waiting for you. The tiny spirit tilted its head. My name. It paused. I don't remember. The tree answered with quiet kindness. That is perfectly all right. Dreams often forget their names before discovering who they truly are. The little spirit blinked with wonder. Then the ancient tree released a single glowing leaf. The leaf floated gracefully through the morning air before resting inside the spirit's tiny hands. When you are ready, this leaf will guide your journey. But remember, every dream becomes brighter when it helps another. The spirit looked up. Far beyond the trees, a distant mountain touched the clouds. At its peak, a warm, golden light shimmered through the morning mist. The listening tree whispered softly. That is where your story begins. The little spirit smiled. Without fear, without hurry, it floated gently toward the glowing mountain. Behind it, the whispering forest continued singing its peaceful morning song, knowing that another beautiful adventure had quietly begun. The little dream spirit followed the glowing leaf without ever needing to ask which way to go. It drifted through the peaceful, whispering forest as though the forest itself were gently guiding every step. Morning sunlight filtered through the towering pine trees, painting golden patterns across moss-covered stones. Crystal streams hummed quiet melodies as they wound between ancient roots, and delicate wildflowers nodded softly in the cool breeze. The glowing leaf floated a few feet ahead, never too fast, never too slow. It seemed to know exactly how quickly a dream should travel. Soon, the trees began to grow farther apart. The path became brighter. The air felt lighter. Ahead, a gentle staircase of smooth white stones climbed the side of the mountain, winding upward through drifting clouds. Each step shimmered faintly with tiny flecks of silver, as though generations of dreams had polished them with their quiet journeys. The dream spirit paused for just a moment. It looked back. Below, the whispering forest stretched like an endless emerald sea, wrapped in soft morning mist. Birds circled peacefully above the treetops, and the listening tree stood proudly at its center, watching over the forest with quiet patience. The dream spirit smiled. Then it continued climbing. The higher it floated, the quieter the world became. Even the wind seemed to whisper instead of blow. Clouds drifted lazily across the mountainside, wrapping everything in soft white blankets that glowed in the warm morning light. After a long, peaceful climb, the clouds slowly parted. There, resting upon a wide, grassy hill, stood a small wooden cabin, unlike any home the dream spirit had ever imagined. Its walls were built from warm cedar wood that glowed gently in the sunlight. The roof was covered with soft green moss and tiny blue flowers. Colorful climbing vines wrapped around the porch railings. A stone chimney released thin ribbons of white smoke that curled gracefully into the sky. Every window glowed with a welcoming golden light. The cabin felt as though it had always been waiting. A narrow wooden bridge crossed a sparkling stream before reaching the front door. Tiny glowing butterflies fluttered through the flower garden, while cheerful bluebirds rested upon the white fence. Near the porch stood an elderly man watering bright blossoms with a simple copper watering can. He moved slowly, peacefully. Every flower seemed to bloom a little brighter wherever the water touched. His silver hair shimmered softly beneath a wide straw hat. His kind face carried gentle wrinkles formed by countless warm smiles. He wore a cozy cream-colored sweater beneath a forest green vest, sturdy brown trousers, and polished leather boots dusted with mountain soil. When he noticed the little dream spirit, he smiled immediately. "I wondered when you would arrive." The dream spirit floated closer. "You were waiting for me?" The old man nodded gently. "I have been waiting since before sunrise." He placed the watering can beside the porch. "My name is Elias. I care for dreams that are searching for their purpose." The dream spirit looked down at the glowing leaf. "I don't remember who I am." Elias smiled kindly. "Most beautiful dreams begin that way." He opened the cabin door. A warm golden light spilled across the wooden porch. Only the gentle crackling of the fireplace and the soft ticking of an old wooden clock could be heard. Outside, white clouds drifted peacefully past the windows, carrying tiny drops of sparkling mist that caught the warm morning light. The little dream spirit floated beside Elias, its bright blue eyes filled with quiet curiosity. On a high wooden shelf rested dozens of lanterns. Some glowed with soft golden light. Some shimmered in shades of pale blue. Others sparkled like tiny stars caught inside delicate glass. No two lanterns looked exactly alike. Each one seemed to carry its own peaceful story. Elias carefully reached toward the oldest lantern on the shelf. It was carved from smooth white birchwood. Tiny silver vines wrapped around its frame, while delicate crystal stars hung beneath its handle. Inside, only a single silver light floated gently. The lantern barely glowed, yet somehow it felt brighter than all the others. The old dreamkeeper held it with both hands. "This," he whispered, "is the lantern of forgotten dreams." The dream spirit floated closer. "Its light is so small." Elias smiled. "It isn't small. It is simply waiting." He placed the lantern gently upon the wooden table. The dream spirit watched the lantern carefully. The little silver light trembled softly, as if it wanted to say something. Elias gently placed one hand over his heart. "Close your eyes. Listen." The dream spirit did exactly as he asked. The cabin became completely still. The fireplace whispered. The wind hummed softly outside. Somewhere, a bluebird sang a peaceful morning song. Then, very faintly, the dream spirit heard another sound. Laughter. A child's gentle laughter. It drifted through the lantern like a warm memory. The silver light inside brightened ever so slightly. The dream spirit opened its eyes. "I heard someone." Elias nodded. That dream belonged to a little girl who wished to build tree houses for every bird in the forest. What happened? She grew older. Life became busy. She forgot. The lantern glowed softly. "But dreams," Elias whispered, "never stop loving the people who first imagined them." The dream spirit gently reached toward the lantern. The moment its tiny glowing hands touched the warm glass, the silver light blossomed into hundreds of tiny floating stars. They circled slowly around the room. One by one, every lantern hanging from the wooden shelves began to glow. Golden, blue, pink, lavender, silver. The cabin filled with peaceful light. Tiny dream particles floated through the wood. The cabin rested in peaceful silence. The magical lanterns glowed softly once more, their gentle colors dancing across the wooden walls like quiet memories. Elias carefully knelt beside an old cedar chest tucked beneath the table. Its polished surface was carved with delicate patterns of stars, moons, rivers, and leaves. The wood looked ancient, yet it carried the warm scent of fresh cedar, as though it had been lovingly cared for every day. With a gentle smile, Elias lifted the lid. Inside was no ordinary map. It shimmered like woven moonlight. Silvery threads crossed and intertwined, forming forests, mountains, streams, and hidden paths that seemed to move ever so slightly, as if they were alive. The dream spirit floated closer, its blue eyes wide with wonder. "The map is glowing," it whispered. Elias nodded. "It only awakens when a dream is ready for its next lesson." The glowing leaf drifted from the dream spirit's hands and settled gently above the map. At once, tiny golden lights flowed through the silver threads. One narrow path brightened. It wound down the mountainside, through flowering meadows, and toward a sparkling ribbon of water. "The river of silent wishes," Elias said softly. "It has been waiting for us." The dream spirit tilted its head. "What is a silent wish?" A tiny golden light appeared within its own chest. Small, warm, steady. The glowing leaf from the listening tree floated gently into the air. Elias closed the chest and looked toward the window. Sometimes, he said, people make wishes they never speak aloud. They carry them quietly in their hearts. A wish to be brave. A wish to forgive. A wish to find peace. Even when forgotten, those wishes continue their journey. The dream spirit listened carefully. So the river carries them? Elias smiled. Yes, it carries them gently, never rushing, until they are ready to bloom. Together, they stepped outside. The mountain air felt fresh and cool. Clouds drifted lazily beneath the hilltop cabin, while sunlight painted the distant peaks in shades of gold and lavender. A narrow trail led through a meadow filled with tiny bluebells, white daisies, and glowing moonflowers that remained open even beneath the morning sun. Butterflies floated lazily among the blossoms. The little fox trotted happily beside them, its fluffy tail swaying with every step. Birds sang softly from the branches overhead. No one hurried. Every step felt peaceful. As they descended the mountain, the gentle sound of flowing water slowly grew louder. Soon, the trees opened into a wide, quiet valley. There, winding through emerald grass, flowed the river of silent wishes. Its water was unlike any river the dream spirit had ever seen. It shimmered with silver and pale blue light. Tiny glowing stars floated just beneath its surface, instead of pebbles. The current moved so slowly that it almost seemed still. Water lilies bloomed across the river, their white petals glowing softly. Dragonflies with crystal wings danced above the water, leaving sparkling trails behind them. The dream spirit floated to the riverbank. It's beautiful. Elias nodded. Listen closely. The dream spirit became still. At first, it heard only the gentle flow of water. Then, soft voices. Not words. Feelings. Hope. Kindness. The last glowing wish light floated gently into the morning sky until it became one more tiny star among countless others. For a few peaceful moments, no one spoke. The river of silent wishes continued its slow, shimmering journey through the quiet valley. Then, the glowing leaf lifted into the air once again. Its golden veins sparkled softly, pointing toward the distant bridge that shimmered above the clouds. Elias smiled. It is time. The little dream spirit floated beside him, while the fox stretched happily before trotting ahead along the winding path. As they climbed the gentle hillside, the sound of the river slowly faded behind them. In its place came another sound, a delicate ringing, soft, gentle, like tiny bells dancing in the breeze. The path led them to a graceful bridge woven from silver moonlight. Its railings sparkled with tiny stars, and every step glowed beneath their feet before fading once more. Below the bridge stretched an endless sea of white clouds, rolling softly like calm ocean waves. The dream spirit looked over the edge. The clouds drifted so peacefully that they seemed to be dreaming themselves. The little fox paused halfway across the bridge, gazing at its reflection in a pool of cloud light. Curious butterflies of shimmering light fluttered around its ears before drifting away into the sky. When they reached the other side, the dream spirit stopped in wonder. Before them, the dream spirit smiled. They're beautiful. Elias nodded. This is the tree of gentle echoes. It remembers every kind word ever spoken. The dream spirit blinked. Every kind word? Elias rested his hand upon the ancient trunk. Words of comfort. Words of hope. Words of forgiveness. They never disappear. They become part of this tree. A tiny breeze drifted through the branches. Hundreds of crystal bells chimed together. The music felt warm, safe, familiar. The dream spirit listened carefully. Suddenly, one bell began glowing brighter than the others. Its light shimmered like soft morning sunlight. A gentle voice floated from within. "You are enough." The dream spirit looked around. Who said that? Elias smiled knowingly. A mother comforting her frightened child many years ago. Another crystal bell glowed. Its melody carried different words. "I'm proud of you." Then another. "You are never alone." Another. "Thank you." Another. "I forgive you." Every gentle sentence became a beautiful note in the peaceful song surrounding the tree. The dream spirit felt the golden light inside its chest grow warmer. It floated toward a small crystal bell hanging from one of the lower branches. Unlike the others, this one remained quiet. It waited patiently. Elias whispered. Every traveler. The last crystal bell slowly settled into silence. Its gentle melody drifted through the branches of the tree of gentle echoes before becoming one with the quiet morning breeze. The little dream spirit stood peacefully beneath the glowing tree. The golden light inside its chest was no longer tiny. It shone softly and steadily, like the first warm star appearing in the evening sky. The glowing leaf rose once again, but this time, it did not fly ahead. Instead, it circled slowly around the dream spirit. Its work was nearly finished. Elias smiled. "I believe it knows." The little fox wagged its fluffy tail and began walking along a narrow path that shimmered with tiny golden petals. Lumi and Elias followed quietly. The path wound through rolling hills covered with soft emerald grass. Lumi smiled. "So every dream becomes unique?" "Yes," Elias replied. "Just like every heart." Near the center of the garden stood a peaceful circular pond. Its water reflected not the sky above, but the stars, even though it was still daytime. The pond shimmered with thousands of tiny constellations. At its center floated one unopened flower. It was unlike any other. Its petals were made of silver light. Its stem glowed with warm gold. It rested quietly upon the still water, waiting. Elias turned toward Lumi. "This flower belongs to you." Lumi blinked. "Mine?" "You have remembered something more important than your name. You remembered your purpose." Lumi looked into the glowing pond. It remembered the listening tree, the lantern of forgotten dreams, the river of silent wishes, the tree of gentle echoes. Every lesson, every smile, every act of kindness. The golden light within its heart became brighter than ever before. Slowly, Lumi floated toward the unopened flower. As its tiny glowing hands gently touched the silver petals, the flower began to bloom. One petal, then another, until it opened completely. From its center rose hundreds of tiny glowing dream spirits. Each one carried a different color: golden, silver, blue, pink, lavender, emerald. They circled peacefully around Lumi like gentle stars dancing through the evening sky. The dream spirit gasped softly. "They were waiting." Elias nodded. "You have become what every dream hopes to become: a guide." The little dream spirits gathered around Lumi. Some were very young, some looked shy,
Others laughed quietly as they floated through the flowers. None of them were lost anymore. The glowing leaf from the listening tree slowly drifted downward. It settled gently into the pond. Instead of sinking, it transformed into a radiant golden tree growing from the center of the water. Its branches spread gracefully toward the sky. Tiny glowing leaves shimmered in every...
Now the whispering forest rests beneath a blanket of stars. The cabin above the clouds glows warmly in the quiet night. The river of silent wishes carries hope without hurry, and the tree of gentle echoes softly sings every kind word ever spoken. In the garden of returning dreams, new blossoms open with every act of kindness. And somewhere beyond the horizon, Lumi gently welcomes another lost dream home. As the breeze whispers through the pines and the stars shine overhead, let your own heart grow peaceful. Close your eyes, breathe slowly, and drift into a gentle sleep, knowing that every kind dream has a place to belong. Good night.